This is the real heel Brian Neal, and you're drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin Mo's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're finishing filling out your order, use the code Drinkin at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking All go. Right, everybody, welcome Drinkin' Moe's. Big Mo here. You know the drill by now. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all the good stuff. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything, because that YouTube algorithm is a pain in the ass, and I need help with having people find me on there. We're also on pretty much most places you can find your audio podcast too. But today, man, I am losing count of how many talent out of H2O that I've had on this show, but I'm loving it because that promotion's been good to me. I got another one here today, the real heel, Brian Neal. How you doing?
I'm good, Mo. How about you?
Oh, besides the weather here in Nebraska, I can't complain too much.
Oh my.
Yeah, we used to have in my basement here, there's this egress window, and there used to be a snowdrift about halfway up the damn window. Yeah, makes me miss where I was stationed in San Diego pretty damn bad.
Yeah. Huge difference.
Yeah, and I got some great stuff, great interviews lined up. I got a couple of shows I'm going to be going to in the next couple of months that I'm pretty excited for, so I can't complain too much. One of those actually being Sami Callihan's promotion, Wrestling Revolver.
Oh, where's that at?
They kind of, for the most part, flip-flop between, I think it's Dayton, Ohio, and Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay.
I haven't been able to make it out to the Dayton stops yet, but I have been to a handful of the Des Moines ones, and they're always a damn party, so I'm looking forward to it.
Sick.
But first thing I'd like to start off with each guest is what got you started as a fan, and then what made you, finally decide to make that leap into the business?
Okay. Fan-wise, God, I don't even know how old I was. It's like most people remember their first time seeing wrestling. I vaguely remember it, but I was just always around it. The first glimpse I would say is like the early 2000s. Might have been Triple H versus Kane or something on a Monday Night Raw. That's the earliest memory that I've had, and I've always been in love with it ever since. And that kind of leads into the factor of me always wanting to do it. And then now finally with H2O as a platform, with the school being officially done with that, now wrestling on shows. Hopefully, we can get a little higher there, keep pushing your goals and then see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Whenever I hear about people, especially some of the younger people I've had on, because goddamn, I'm fucking 40, but hearing people in their first recollections of wrestling being around then, and then, good Lord, some of my first that I can remember were, God, Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior coming out through the crowds. And another one that, when I was younger, scared the shit out of me, but later on, loved him. Bruiser Brody, seeing him coming out with the swing and the chain around his shit. Like, as a little kid that scared the crap out of me. But now, God, that's the type of in-ring persona that I gravitate towards. That just intense, just would scare the crap out of a little kid sort of thing. But speaking of in-ring personas, I especially in the first episodes I have with somebody, I kind of like to hear how they came up with theirs because I've understood through talking with my friends in the business and through the podcast that especially those first couple of years can be a bit of a feeling out process with it all.
Yeah. It all starts, when you first start training. That's probably like the craziest thing. Then you got to think of a name, you got to think of what you're going to come up with, and then you take inspiration from stuff you like, which is what I did. I first came up with the real deal Brian Neal, but ever since a different alignment, if you will, drop the D, add an H, two E's. It's just fun being the bad guy. Take inspiration from guys you like Chris Jericho, Triple H, guys like that. Seth Rollins, like the cocky prick. That's what I want to be. So.
No, yeah. You know what? When you were bringing that up, especially when Seth Rollins has played the heel, it's like when I watch you at H2O, since I've gotten my subscription with IWTV back, it's like I kind of got that sense there because Seth Rollins as a heel, and then you and the way you are in the ring now, I'm like, you know what? I wasn't thinking about that before, but I can see where that would come up, and because too similar, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the. When I was still growing up at the time watching it. It's like 2010s, 2015s era. Like he was on top of the world. So like,
oh God, yeah, coming in with, I mean, as far as when he got to WWE, everything with the Shield, and then hell, even when he turned on him, that was a whole.
That was great stuff.
Good Lord, that got everybody going.
Oh yeah, great times. The one time I missed Monday Night Raw was that episode. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching it, and then it happened.
You know what? Doesn't that seem to be the way it always works out? Some of the crazy crap like that happens. I'm like, damn it, the one time.
Every time it happens.
You know what? Well, I've had that happen sometimes, but then I think back to, some of the stuff that I've actually been able to be there in person for, like, when Dean Ambrose destroyed Jericho's light up jacket on Raw. Yeah. I was in the audience for that.
Oh shit.
Trying to That's think of the other. When Kevin Owens was, air quotes, a part of the New Day, he was trying to fill in.
Big O.
And then he turns on him. Yeah. I was there that night. Some of the crazy. Oh, what was the other? Oh, this really dates me, but it was my first ever Raw taping I ever got to go to. And good Lord, Bret Hart was still in the WWE. He was feuding with Stone Cold at the time.
Oh.
He ended up chasing him. I think he was in that part where Bret was in the wheelchair, and then Stone Cold was chasing him around the arena with a axe handle. And The Rock was still Rocky Maivia at the time. And he lost the Intercontinental title to Owen Hart. I was there.
That must have been, what, 96, 97?
Around then, yeah. But yeah, like, I've missed some stuff on TV, but then I've also been able to be there for some crazy stuff, too. So I'm like, kind of evens out for me.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I try to think positively on that. But going into H2O, good lord, what a hell of an ending to 2023 they had. Like I was just talking with Redfield a couple
Big
days
Red.
ago.
Okay.
I his episode that's getting released later, but we actually talked about that because good lord, they had just passed the 200th live event.
Yup.
That was amazing. You had right around Halloween, they had the whole big buried alive match, which was nuts.
I love that. That was great. Great stuff.
That was the when I got my IWTV subscription back. That was the first thing I watched
I did
because,
the
like, I
same
had been
thing.
hearing about it because I have Tremont on Facebook and a bunch of the H2O people that I've been talking to. So when I'd heard about it. So when I got it back, I'm like, boom. First thing I'm watching is that. That was insane. And then, oh God, what else was there? There was Torn to Shreds, which was a great show.
Yeah.
Um, and then, you had a little bit of a hand in one one of the stories that ended 2023, where not only did you have a couple of matches with Duncan Aleem, but you also had a hand in him deciding to turn on his old buddies there. How what was that whole thing coming about for you? Like I love hearing the little backstories.
So obviously, we all came through the backyard stuff together. I started the whole thing, and then everyone else kind of came along, and then we eventually went on the pro journey. And then me and Duncan, like when we first started teaming, we were like, all right, we're going to become the tag team champions. And then that didn't happen. And I feel that what I did at first was necessary into giving Duncan that edge in order for him to realize that our goal is the tag team champions. You should take this thing seriously. And that's exactly what we did with Chaos Control. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, but we didn't get pinned. So
Mm.
that book is still open. Tag
Oh
titles, we're
yeah.
coming for them. I don't care when. We're coming for them.
No, you know what? That's pretty much what Duncan told me when I had him on. He was like, "Y'all are going for those damn things because you know what? You're right. In that match, you guys weren't the ones that got pinned, so therefore, you know, very I guess logical next step would be you guys being in line for that, and the guys that have the H2O tag titles right now are, I guess, for the lack of a better term, outsiders, I
Yeah.
guess. So
Mm-hmm.
bringing them back home, that would
Yeah,
be a
bringing them back
nice little
home,
story right there.
bringing it back to us. We finally win the tag titles. Show everyone what we've been saying for the past 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, hell, that whole thing was actually something I had in my notes here. I just looked down at it. But, going into 2024, it's already off with a bang, just having that Cage of Hell show. God
Yeah.
damn. Like, I was having a little bit of trouble getting my feed going, but I got in there, and goddamn, you had the triple threat match there that night, right?
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that at all, but I went for it.
Yeah, I kind of got in there right about towards the end of it, so I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I'm definitely going back and watching it.
Okay.
But yeah, that whole show was just nuts.
Yeah. What a way to kick off the year. And it's only going to get better from there.
True. Good lord, the whole show, and then the way it held that main event with that. God damn, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Never in person.
Oh God, yeah, I've never seen anything in person. Hell, I've only ever seen one cage match live. So to see that even on TV, like, I'm hoping one day to be able to get out there to an H2O show because, I mean, hell, the amount of people I've had on the show and, finally getting to meet everybody in person, I think that would be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So who knows? We got plenty of 2024 left. So, no, coming up here, wanting to say, well, it's a couple weeks now, big, causing havoc, Danny Havoc hardcore title tournament going. That's gonna, just the name alone and knowing how everybody holds that title in such high esteem, you just know that everybody that's been announced for that damn thing, they're gonna be gunning for it. Like that show is gonna be, like I said, the main event of Cage of Hell was. It's gonna be nuts.
Oh yeah, 100%. Everyone should have that mindset, especially with that championship. Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, no, that is, I mean, people say for the main titles of every promotion, but really any title, if you're not gunning for one of those, and it's almost like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, why even be there if you're not wanting to be holding one of those?
That's the goal. Be at the top.
Oh yeah, I think what was it? DDP was talking about talking to Dusty Rhodes and thinking he was never going to be world title material, and then Dusty Rhodes basically just told him basically to shut the hell up, and if he wasn't gunning to be world champion, then what the hell are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That popped into my head right there. And then not only that, but then there's also two big, excuse me, I love my Dr. Pepper, but he gives me the burps like crazy. But two shows, I believe March, and they got a lot in April, but March is the show Praying that I, just from the picture on the advertisement I've seen so far, I'm like thinking, okay, that's gonna be kind of what I've expected from pretty much every H2O show that I've seen so far. Just gonna be like the H2O Center. It's kind of a intimate setting, smaller. You're right up in there.
Oh yeah.
And the crowds are always nuts. They're loving it. They're into everything. And I know I don't believe any matches have been announced for that because I believe, which makes sense, concentrating on the one immediately coming up, the hardcore title tournament. But then, WrestleMania week, it's right in your guys' neck of the woods there, which I'm fucking jealous because I have yet to ever go to one.
Oh, this is gonna be my first one, dude. First Mania.
Oh,
yeah, first.
I am so damn jealous. I've yet to attend a pay-per-view of any kind. Really. It's well soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was telling some other people, I think the last time WWE or hell anybody held a pay-per-view here in Nebraska was back in 2008.
You remember what pay-per-view it was?
It was like I wanted to say Judgment Day. I wanted to say it was Triple H and Randy Orton in a cage. I know there was a cage match on the show.
I used to be so good at it. I don't know. 2008 is kind of like a weird year, so like you kind of forget a lot of the pay-per-view matches.
Oh, trust me. That was the year I left for Navy boot camp, and it was literally a couple months before I left.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
Yeah, didn't get to go to that one. Fucking jealous. But yeah, Anthology WrestleMania week. That's going to be, you know, for people that might not know, it's kind of a thing going all week, right? Like there's things, I believe I heard some other kind of promotions that H2O has working relationships are going to be involved in some form or fashion. What are you
Yeah.
coming to expect from all that?
Um, well, there is a lot coming up. The March show is my birthday, so that should be fun.
Oh,
Uh,
sweet.
so
Yeah.
let's see what happens. WrestleMania week, I believe what Monday Night Death, and I think the night after might be Hustle Cup. The rest of the week I always mix up, but I know ICW is Friday. There is a lot of wrestling in the area that week, which is going to be insane. So I think every show for the most part should have a good turnout. Uh, I don't know what I'll be doing. Hopefully something worth me and Duncan's time. When it comes to that regard. But we're just gonna see what happens and then go with it.
I think it would be kind of fitting with the big stage that whole week is going to be for professional wrestling in general. It would be kind of fitting to, maybe get that shot for the tag titles in there.
Could be. If you're listening, H2O, do it.
Yes,
Do it.
yes, definitely. Now, I was just thinking, you brought up March. When in March your birthday? Because I'm trying to remember the
The
date
8th, so
of.
it's a Friday.
Oh, well,
It's a
shit!
Friday
You're
show.
you're right. 2 days before my wife's one.
Oh wow. Oh, and Tremont's
March
birthday
10th.
is the 9th. So
Hmm.
you got a trio of birthdays that weekend.
I wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to figure out something for her birthday. I know we are both. I already got tickets to. If you've heard of the comedian Drew Lynch, has the
I think I've
stutter
heard of
issue.
him, but I never like seen his material or anything.
He what I got introduced to him on was the videos of him when he was on. I'm wanting to say America's Got Talent, where he did his routine, and I think the one that really got me was him saying that he wanted to be the voice of somebody's GPS, and because of his stutter issue, he was like, right, rerouting, and I was on the damn floor.
Oh, that's amazing. I hope that comes true.
Oh my god, that would be epic. But yeah, he's come to Omaha, and my wife and I have seen him each time, and it's literally, including this next time, it's going to be a different venue each time we've seen him.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, it's been cool. I've personally, like, I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy. I've been lucky enough to actually get to meet not only him but one of my other favorites in Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh, I really would love to see him live. He's freaking hilarious, dude. Oh
Oh
my
man,
god.
the first time I saw him, and you know what, for people that you know might not have watched the show but may get introduced to it through wanting to watch this episode with you. Um, yeah, I talk a lot about wrestling with my guests, but then we talk some stuff outside of it. And this perfect example. First, I believe I've seen him twice, but the first time was shortly after my grandpa had passed, and we got inheritance money that was split up. Blah blah
Mhm.
blah. Long story there. But I knew I wanted to do at least one fun thing with that. Do the smart stuff and save and
Mhm.
whatever. But I wanted to do one fun thing. And I saw that on Facebook somebody was interested in his show that was coming to Omaha. I'm like, wait, he's coming to Omaha? So when I went and looked, there was two front row tickets that, in a section that included meet and greet passes. So I was like, mine?
It was meant to be.
Oh yeah. And the fun part about it was, you got to talk to him for a little bit. You got your picture with him, but when his openers were going, they had some sort of a machine that printed out all the pictures and he signed them. And before he came out, everybody got theirs. So somewhere around here, I got that picture. I just can't find it right now.
Oh man, that's awesome. Jesus.
Oh yeah, it was something else. But yeah, hell, I've been lucky enough to meet those guys, and then some of my favorite wrestlers. Like I I collect wrestling figures, and I've been
Of course,
lucky
yeah.
enough to meet some of my favorites and get figures signed by them, like Keith Lee,
Oh,
Rikishi in the Head Shrinker Fought 2 thing.
okay.
Got him, Taya Valkyrie, Lance Archer, and Jeff Cobb are some of my
Okay.
absolute favorites out of what I got signed. But yeah,
Oh
one of
man.
my hobbies.
Yeah. Oh my God. I see Big Boss Man down there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of my early favorites.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
one of my
so
early
cool.
favorites, and Bam Bam Bigelow Funko Pop over there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my little I call it my rest in peace, tribute section to ones that have passed away, right
Oh,
there.
okay.
Because mostly I like to keep them in box in the case that I actually get to meet them. Which, I mean, obviously, I've had a little luck getting to meet some of
Yeah.
my favorites. So, like, in the chance that I get to meet them, I like them to be in the box so I can have them signed. Because
Okay.
I don't like buying them already signed. I like that.
No, it,
I
it
like
don't feel
getting,
right. No.
oh, yeah, no, I like having that story of going and meeting them and handing it to them. And if there was a funny story on that you have of them from a previous time seeing them, getting to tell them that and stuff. Like my Rikishi one, he was in my first ever WWE show that I ever went to as a kid. And he was in that persona, and I got to tell him about that. So
That's
cool little
great.
stuff. Now, I have two categories that I have in this show that, you know, first one's a bit of a name game where I name off some people and you give me quick thoughts on them. And I try to theme it towards the guest as much as possible. And these ones with the H2O connection, not only do they have that connection, but these ones have also been on the show previously.
Okay.
So, like I said, I give you the name, some quick thoughts on the person.
Okay.
First one, episode not released yet, but it's coming up. Duncan Aleem.
Best friend.
He's a good dude. I
He's my
really
dude.
enjoyed getting to talk to him. All right, next one. I'm really happy that he is getting through some of the stuff that kind of ended his last year. But JB Anderson.
Oh, JB. Oh man. He's such a good person to talk to,
Oh,
honestly.
totally.
You'll have a great conversation with him, no matter what the topic is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we talked about all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it was just fun time in
Oh,
general.
music.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Next one, Hall of Famer, Low Life Louie.
Oh, legend. Louis the best.
Oh, oh my god, he was an entertaining one, and some of the other people that I'm trying to remember who it was mentioned they got him Four Loco flag for his birthday, and I'm like, yeah, he sure does love his Four Locos.
Yeah, loves is an understatement. There's another different word to describe his fixation on Ford Loco.
He drinks those like a lot of people drink energy drinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, next one. This one was a fun one. Neil Diamond Cutter.
Sweet guy. Every interaction I've had with him's always been good. Not a bad thing to say about him. He's always cool when he comes by.
Oh yeah, I believe I missed out one time that he was actually here in Omaha for a promotion that I'm hearing there's a chance they might be coming back. But yeah, I missed out on that one time. That was one show I had to miss for whatever reason. But getting to have him on, that was something else because I remember hearing he was going to be there. And then, seeing some of the stuff I have of his, like, I believe it was like the 700 light tubes match. I believe it was Tremont. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I always
I'm
mix up. No, I think I don't know if that was the 1,000 or
thousand. There was a shit ton of light tubes.
yeah. There's too many light tubes. I can't even recall which number it was, but he had two huge light tube death matches. So it might have been.
It might have been one of those. But yeah, he such a nice dude, and I really enjoyed getting to watch the thing on IWTV that they did. Where I think they've done a few of those where they like give the person a camera and kind of like a mini
The life
self-film
of, yeah.
documentary sort of thing. That his one was pretty cool. The other one I enjoyed was Billy Starks. That was cool. I actually had her on too. That
Oh,
was
okay.
that was pretty awesome. Yeah, I remembered it was right before I think her junior year of high school had just ended. I contacted her before it ended, and she said, obviously concentrating on school, so contact her after. Boom, we got it scheduled, and yeah, I actually got to meet her at a Revolver show once, which was pretty nice. Actually, getting to see, I've seen her plenty on, IWTV and now with AEW, Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Now getting to actually see her live was like, this is awesome. Already impressed on TV. Now I'm getting to see it live was awesome. And, sky's not even the limit for her.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, all right. Now I got some random questions. Some might be wrestling related.
Okay.
Some might not be.
Let's roll with it.
Some might have absolutely nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far.
All right.
So I give you the question. You give me the first answer that pops in your head.
Okay.
First one of the only ones I really keep in here every time. Craziest in match moment for you?
Trying to craziest. Um, I don't even think I could think of a crazy thing that's happened to me. I haven't shit my pants or anything, which is good.
I've heard of. I believe I've had a story of that happening once with somebody. After over 200 episodes recorded, some of the stories escape me. I know I've heard that somewhere, but I like keeping it in here because I love hearing the backstories behind it. Like, I believe Lloyd Anoa'i told me once when he was in the original ECW having a match with New Jack, and they were told specifically about not destroying certain stuff. And then they both end up going through a wall, and Paul Heyman yells at him after the match.
Oh my god.
And good lord, I'm kind of I've heard people getting knocked unconscious in a match, and like they're like they're still up and walking around, but like the lights are on, but nobody's home, sort of a thing.
Yeah,
Heard
that's
of
a fear
that?
right there.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've witnessed a few crazy ones like Jake Chris versus Joel Bateman, the match ending with four folding chairs and two panes of glass, and then the glass ends up getting lit on fire. Uh,
Yeah, I
I
don't think I've gotten to that level of like extreme, intensity yet. I've kept it at a hardcore at least.
yeah, that was actually the first ever legit death match that I ever saw. Like in person saw it. Like I've seen
Oh,
plenty on, you know, streaming and DVDs and stuff, but never in person. So I was my jaw was on the floor at the end of that one.
yeah, wrestling definitely changed my outlook on death matches. Because when I first got into it, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I think the first show I went to was Matt and RSP, last extravaganza, and then ever since
Mm,
then, the whole mindset has changed. So now I'm like, all right, death matches are cool.
yeah, I
Yeah.
I've pretty much always been a fan of death matches. Good lord, I'm trying to remember. Hell, well, you bring up Rick RSP. I actually last Revolver show I went to, he's in a team that is now the Revolver Tag Champs with Steve Macklin and Alex Colon,
Oh wow.
and they went up against the Second Gear Crew that night. And holy shit, Matthew Justice jumping off a scaffold. My friend and I were on one end of the venue, and all of a sudden we heard this loud series of bang, 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 and we were like thinking somebody was dying over there. Then I find a video of it. It's literally Steve Macklin just taking a like half a section of a door and just.
Oh, I think I saw the clip of that. Jesus.
I was on the other side of the venue from that,
Oh, wow.
and
Good stuff.
you know I've been lucky enough to have some pretty big names in the deathmatch community on, like Neil Diamond Cutter. I think it's kind of hidden back here right now, but uh, John Wayne Murdoch. He has
Oh,
one of
wow.
those wrestling buddy things where like one side's normal, the other side's all
Yeah,
bloody
yeah,
looking.
yeah.
And I got one of them back there.
Oh, wow.
It took me damn near a year to get him on, but there was a mix of like personal stuff for me and with the schedule that he keeps. But hey, I'm persistent. We got
Yeah.
it done. And he was nice about all of it. So I got nothing but great things to say about him.
Good
And
dude.
well, I don't have this displayed yet because I'm looking for something to display him in. Speaking of Alex Colon, signed ring worn kick pads.
Oh, wow. Holy crap.
Yeah, he was selling them off and looking to invest in some new ones. It's like, how much do you want? It's like, make me an offer. So I did. Didn't cost me that much, really.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
hey, my one piece of ring worn memorabilia that I got. So, well, going into that, my next question actually is hobbies, like outside of wrestling, because I've heard some people talk about being in wrestling and that being a hobby, but more outside of wrestling. What would a hobby that you have be, if any?
Um, there was a point in my life where the only hobby I had was wrestling before training. After that, excluding work and all that, you got, video games,
Mm.
watching The Sopranos all day. You got those two combinations. So yeah, I would say those two. The occasional, baseball, whatever, every now and then, but football, whatever, for shits and
Oh,
giggles.
oh yeah. I mean, I baseball. People think they don't really realize this with me being from Nebraska, but I'm a huge San Diego Padres guy. Like going back to Tony Gwynn, Trevor Hoffman, and like Hall of Famer guys. And then I actually got stationed in San Diego, and I just went every chance I got. And then, yeah, they didn't have so this. My football team didn't have so great of a. Well, it didn't end the way I would have hoped. But I'm a cheesehead. I'm a Packers guy,
Okay.
and I actually a year ago this month got to go to my first ever game at Lambeau, which coincidentally ended up being Aaron Rodgers' last. And then this last New Year's Eve, I was actually at the Packers Vikings game up in Minneapolis.
Oh, I've never been to a football. I'd love to go to a football game. It's just I've never had the chance to go.
You know what? Each time I went, it was just a spur of the moment, like, oh, we got a chance for these tickets. Let's go. And I think I went the one that it was planned. My wife surprised me with tickets for my my first birthday that we had together. She had this whole elaborate, wrapping it up in different layers of like duct tape and shit. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing to me? And then I get in there and it's like tickets to the Packers versus the Chiefs down at Arrowhead. It was my first time ever getting to see them in person. So I was like,
Okay.
I knew I loved you, but damn. So yeah, I football and then video games. I'm not, let's say, a stereotypical gamer,
Hmm.
but I do have my Xbox Series S upstairs. I just kept the Xbox One. I got uh Nintendo 64, and then I got this one system that plays Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and I believe regular Nintendo all in one thing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I got some of my collections there, and I'm actually rather proud of this, and it might sound silly, but up until the last month or so, I had never 100%ed a game, like the achievements.
Oh, okay.
And then the last month or so, that Retromania wrestling game,
Hmm.
100% of that. And then that brand new Mortal Kombat,
Hmm.
literally a couple weeks later, 100% of that.
I just started that. It's like I just started playing. I don't think I ever got far in Retromania.
Yeah, I think the last thing that I needed to do was complete the 10 pounds of gold mode
Hmm.
with all the wrestlers. So I literally was trying to remember because I had picked it up and then got back into it like a while later. So I was trying to remember who all I had already done it with.
Hmm.
So over a couple days, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to redo it with everybody. And then boom. But yeah, it was a fun experience, for a guy that had never done anything like that. Like, holy crap. Like, I can actually go on my thing and boom, there it is, 200% at once.
Yeah.
And now now that they made the announcement for 2K24 for the WWE game, I started like, you know what? I really got to do some stuff on that one because I had it, but then I really like the My GM mode, but I was having a tough time, getting like I get so far and then that budget thing they have,
Mhm.
it was like I was always, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, there's a couple things in the game that's a little weird, like the alignments, like giants, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a fan more of like the SVR GMOs or 607 where it's more freelance. You just book whatever you want. And, I
Yeah,
think that's better.
yeah, I preferred that, but recently, the last week or so, I finally got it down.
Okay.
So, like, I think I'm in the third season now. I want to say there's only four.
There is four, yeah. I haven't
So,
gotten
like,
to four
I'm
yet.
almost there, and I'm like, I think 200,000 fans above my, like, I'm number one, and the next one's like 200,000 fans below me. So I'm
That's
like,
good.
yes, I got a lead. But yeah, I have a fun time with it. Another thing that I enjoy leads into the next question here. I haven't been able to go to a movie theater a lot lately, but I do enjoy my movies. What would you say is a favorite movie of yours?
The question's always weird because you try to like differentiate like comedy, horror,
Yeah,
action. If I had to go two off the top of my head, Goodfellas and
solid.
a comedy. I'd probably say any of the Clerks movies
Mm,
and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Like those
okay,
Kevin Smith movies are great.
solid,
So
solid.
yeah.
I know. Well, I joke about it, and my wife jokes about it, but my favorite movie ever, Forrest Gump. I've seen. I forget how many times I've seen it anymore. But when we were up at that the, for the Packers Vikings game, they actually have a Bubba Gump restaurant in the Mall of America. So we went there, and my souvenir shot glasses, they actually had a Bubba Gump one that, but Dr. Pepper. And, Bubba Gump, Dr. Pepper, two of my favorite. She showed me it, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to have that. So I
Must
got it.
purchase.
But then, going to comedies, oh God, there's so many choices, but
Too many.
oh God,
Step
too
Brothers.
many.
Step Brothers is probably my favorite.
Oh God,
Step
that's
Brothers.
enough. That or Old School was another good
Old
one
School is amazing.
because, and you know what? It reminded me something I saw on Facebook reminded me of it because it's a meme with a scene from that movie, but it's talking about Jason Kelsey after the Chiefs game, and it's
Oh,
just of
Frank the Tank
we're
running on
we're
the
we're
street.
streaking. Hey, honey, you think KFC's still open?
Great,
Or
great movie.
one that my brother and I have quoted more times than we probably should, Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, I love Dumb and Dumber.
Like, whenever there have been times where we go on a road trip and, okay, around Nebraska, it's pretty fucking flat, most places. And every now and then, randomly, we just go, yeah, thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little rockier than this. Yeah, that John Denver's full of shit. Little shit like that.
Good stuff.
Full of random movie quotes that we just
That's
goof
perfect.
around with each other. All right. Now, with the name of a show like I have, I would feel weird if I didn't have this question in here. Favorite drink, whether it be alcoholic or non, or hell, one of each. Because I always tell people just because it says drinking at Moe's does not mean the drink has to be alcoholic.
Makes sense. Favorite beer is honestly Coors Light.
Okay.
Mixed drink, maybe a Long Island,
That good one.
and just a regular drink. I'd probably say like a strawberry lemonade will do the trick.
Okay. Can't go wrong. Good old lemonade, whether regular or strawberry,
Yeah,
can't go wrong.
lemonade
I
good.
mean, yeah, I'm a bit of a Dr. Pepper fiend. I'm admittedly one. But then, oh God, what was I? Beer. I mean, going along with Coors, I like Coors Banquet. That's a solid one. They come in like if you get them in bottles, they come in these like shorter, kind of chubby glass bottles.
Okay, I'll take a look.
And oh God, I'm trying to think. kind of like a yellow, almost brownish looking label, like dark blue Coors on the front. I'm trying to remember all of it, but yeah, that or Stone Cold's Broken Skull American Lager.
I want to have it. I never tasted it. I want to try it.
The one, you know what, I might have an in on getting some. The closest they sell it to me is Kansas City, but I might have an in on getting a bit of a bulk order on it, so I might have to try to look into that again. But one and only time I've ever had it was on that trip to Lambeau that I had. There was a grocery store nearby that had some. I ended up buying the last pack that they had.
Lucky.
And oh man, it's so good. Like you drink it and you're like, oh, I knew this was gonna be good, but damn it. Like you're drinking it thinking, damn, I knew he would know how to make a good beer. Or mixed drink, going into mixed drinks, I don't have too many margaritas or what was it? Jack and Coke with grenadine.
Okay.
It basically tastes like a Jack and Cherry Coke. It's freaking delicious. But yeah, those are my go-tos.
Okay.
All right, now last but not least here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
As far as actually being there, pay attention, always listen, take your time, it's just, it's what's the expression? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, like, especially if you're starting young, you have so many years. Like me, I've only been wrestling for 3 years professionally now. So it's like just getting started. So, don't ever, like, I've gone through this before too, where like you're still starting, but then you feel like you're still stumbling. Like, just keep looking ahead because, things will happen, and then just keep working your ass off. And then, you'll get to those opportunities.
Oh yeah. The thing that always comes up when I ask different people that about getting through the frustrations is, not everybody's going to get to the main event of WrestleMania right away.
Yeah.
Some people, yeah, some people might get lucky. Other people, it might take a little bit. But, like anything, if you're willing to stick it out, good things will come eventually. You just got to battle through those moments of thinking like, what the fuck am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because hell, I knew in enlisting in the Navy, I knew I had those. Like from boot camp on, I had those all the time. But I knew that I had things in my head that I'm like, you know what? Basically, people that were doubting that I'd even be able to make it, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to prove them right. I'm going to prove them wrong. Let's go. And boom.
Exactly.
Keeping motivations like that in your head when you go through those moments, I can imagine is a pretty key deal. I know it was for me.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go ahead and get them there.
I believe Brian Neal H2O on Instagram and X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
You know what? I believe you follow me on both, so
I would hope so.
Yeah, I believe you do. So if nothing else, it will definitely be in the description.
Be here or there or
yeah, here, there,
somewhere. Yeah,
wherever around. Yeah, it'll be there.
Yeah,
it'll be there. But anyways, Foster Dog here is looking at me like she is wanting me to get her food, so I better go do that. Anyways, that is about all I have. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. Best of luck out there with H2O and beyond here in 2024 and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mo.